What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see behind me, on what's turned out to be a really nice sunny day. It's supposed to turn out cloudy and maybe a little bit of rain later on, but I hadn't seen any signs of it yet. I've got a couple of more interesting things on the agenda, and for this one right here, we're gonna check out a little more 357 SIG. So I got the jelly contraption set up, ready to go with the chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now I've done one test again so far in this, so I've got you flipped around here. Pretty good bit of disruption in the back there, but I got plenty of room in the front here to get this one done. Staying with the heavy clothing barrier as usual. That's got the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we got for this one again is a little more 357 SIG. Now this is one that Nathan at my local shop wanted me to pick up and test. I personally would have never even got this stuff. Y'all know how I feel about SIG as a company. I ain't getting into that rant, but I would have never tested this if it wasn't for him wanting me to check it out. So here we are. We got the SIG V-Crown 125 grain. Now velocity on this is saying 1356. So already this is weaker than a few different rounds of 357 SIG I've already tested. I think the HST I tested not long ago was about 10 higher as far as box velocity. So again, already this stuff ain't even as good as some of the other ones I've tried. But we're gonna give them a chance to see what they can do anyway. As you can see, nice nickel plated case with that 125 grain V-Crown projectile. And I figured since I've only got one 357 SIG barrel length, we'll test it against another caliber, and I'm gonna do some more 357 mag. And the reason I'm going back to 357 mag is I put some mag against this 357 SIG, but it was really terrible examples of both. So I wanted to get another good example of both of these. HST I already did in 357 SIG, so I needed to test this right here. I think this is a pretty good matchup. Most people, I would guess, that run V-Crown would consider it pretty comparable to HST, so I think this is a pretty good matchup. Now the HST is a lot heavier, 154 grain. Velocity on the box here is saying 1340, so already as far as energy, you've got 100 foot-pounds more just based on what the box is saying. Again, with the Magnum here, nice nickel-plated case with that HST projectile. And then we're changing up the barrel length this time too. The first time I did the 357 mag versus the 357 SIG, I used Nathan's G32, I believe it is, the compact 357 SIG Glock. So this time I've got my G22 here with a G31 barrel in it. So basically you're looking at a G31 here for the 357 SIG with a 4.5-inch barrel. And then for the Magnum, I'm staying with the Ruger GP100 with the 4-inch barrel. So this ought to be a pretty good one. I already know for a fact that 357 HST is good stuff, and the V-Crown 357 SIG is probably no slouch either. But let's get this stuff set up and see what they can do. All right, let's see how fast this stuff's running. We'll do a 5-round average from each one, starting with this V-Crown first. Now remember, the box is saying 1356, I believe it was. I don't expect to see it. I'll be happy if we do, but I don't expect it. Now with this lab radar, like I always mention, if y'all aren't familiar, you're gonna get multiple readings. Your large number is gonna be right at your muzzle, and then 5 additional across the bottom I've got set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet. And then I've got 10, 15, 25, and 50. Let's see what we get here from this V-Crown. Feels pretty good. 1377, 1373, 1376, 1385, and 1364. So we did hit that velocity. It proved me wrong and then some. Let's check the average. All right, I gotta admit, I was ready to talk some smack on this V-Crown, but it did what it said it was gonna do plus some extra. So 5-round average on that was 1,375 feet per second. Our extreme spread was 20 with a standard deviation of 7.3. So it got the velocity, it was consistent. I can't really give it too much of a hard time other than say I have still tested some that's stronger, but this stuff definitely does what it claims to do. But let's get it reset and let's check out that 357 mag. All right, let's check out this Magnum HST. I'm gonna do 5 rounds of it also. Remember, the box on this is saying 1340. I can't remember what we got out of this stuff last time, so we'll find out again here. Ooh, that feels good. 1352, definitely feels good. 1303. We got another 1303, 1266, and 1275. So we did hit that velocity on a couple of them, but not all of them. Let's check the average. All right, so our 5-round average from that HST Magnum was 1,300 FPS. We had an extreme spread of 86 with a standard deviation of 33.6. So not the most consistent out of that 4-inch Ruger GP100. We did have a high of 1,352 and a low of 1,266. So we had at least one of them that met and exceeded that box velocity. Maybe we'll get a high one here in the jelly, but 1,300, no doubt it's still gonna do really well in the gel. And if you remember on that 357 SIG, it was 1,375. So 75 more out of this V-Crown 357 SIG, but it was a whole lot lighter projectile. All that being said, both of these I'm sure are going to do a really nice job in the gel, but let's get this stuff set up and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's striker versus hammer jelly time. I'm gonna put 1 round of each into the gel, starting with this 357 SIG first. Again, I have no doubt both of these are gonna do really well in the gel. Let's see what they can do though. I gotta put this, I gotta aim pretty high here. For whatever reason, this setup with this 357 in here, the point of impact is really, really low, a lot lower than I want it. All right, that should have been a good one there. Let me go see what I got. All right, good looking stuff down there, y'all. Nothing really bad to say about it. Let's try this Magnum. I know it's gonna do really well also. Hopefully I can put this where I want it to go. All right, that should have been absolutely perfect. Let's go see what we got. All right, let's check out what we got down here, y'all. Both of them pretty good rounds down here in the gel. They were at the upper limit of their velocity average, so good stuff to compare here. First one up top, that was the 357 SIG V-Crown. Comes in here, as you can see, definitely expansion immediately, no doubt. Dump some cloth on through here, carries all the way through this first block into the second block, and it looks like this thing goes nearly halfway into this second block, so way more penetration than I would have thought. Now, y'all know me, I don't have a big problem at all with that, but some people probably would. And then down here on the bottom, that's the 357 Mag HST. These rounds look very, very similar as far as the performance here in the gel, disruption, energy dumping. Again, very, very nice energy transfer, immediate expansion, no doubt about it. Carries through this block again into the second block. And this one actually stops right about here. This little trail that you see, that's from a different test previously. So this one stops right here. Looks like it's about maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches short of the 357 SIG, but still very, very nice penetration and expansion from what I can tell from both of those. So let's see how much penetration we did get from these bad boys. The 357 SIG is out here at 23.5 inches, and then the HST 357 Mag is down here at 21.5. So big, big penetration from both of those. And again, as you'll see here in just a second, looks like some pretty good expansion also. And here's your closer look. Again, on the top, the V-Crown, on the bottom, the Magnum HST. Really, really nice energy transfer from both of them. They look very, very similar to each other. Into this second block, we'll go up here first. There's your V-Crown, as you can see, and then if you go down, you see what I mean. That little trail in the front's different. There's your HST. Top view here, the SIG on the top again, and then the Magnum down at the bottom. Pretty much the same deal here. We'll follow it on through into this second block. There's your V-Crown 357 SIG, and then down at the bottom again, there's your HST. All right, let's check out these projectiles, y'all. This one right here is the V-Crown. This is the HST. Definitely a pretty big difference in these once you pull them and start looking at them. As you can see, this HST, absolute beautiful expansion. That's exactly what you expect to see out of this thing. The V-Crown, not bad at all. Nice expansion on it, but you can really tell that it did not get full expansion. I've tested V-Crowns in the past. It's been quite a while, but they look much, much nicer than this, much more expanded. They look a whole lot more something like this. But again, now you can see it did pick up some cloth there. It's pretty much fused to it, so that might have had a lot to do with it not getting a full expansion. But just nitpicking here though, because this still is plenty of expansion for my taste. But let's get some measurements on them and see what we got. I don't see anything lost in the gel, so I'm not expecting any kind of loss. The Magnum HST started at 154, and it's actually at 154.4, so absolutely nothing lost there. The V-crown, I'm gonna pull this piece of cloth off. Well, it's really fused to it. It started at 125, and it's at 125.2. So again, nothing lost there from either one of these. And then for your sizes, we'll start with the V-crown here. You got 520 and 519, so nice expansion there, even though again, it didn't fully expand like I've seen in the past. And then the Magnum HST, you got 610 and 607, so really nice expansion from that HST Magnum. And there you have it, y'all, the 357 SIG V-crown versus the HST 357 Magnum. Clearly, I think the winner here is the 357 Magnum. Now, a lot of people might say, oh, that wasn't fair, HST versus V-crown. But again, I think a lot of people who run V-crown and have seen tests in the past, and even myself, I think they're a comparable projectile. Now, obviously, it didn't perform as well here, but you had a larger weight on this one. Velocity was with the V-crown, but it still just did not get quite the expansion. Again, I think both of these did a fantastic job, but if you have to pick a winner out of these two, I think obviously it's this HST 357 Magnum. All right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up right there for another good 357 test. Again, I think both of these did a really good job out here today. Those y'all out there that run 357 SIG a lot, let me know what y'all think about as far as the velocity and the energy level of this stuff. I haven't personally tested quite enough of it yet to feel comfortable saying that this is weak 357 SIG. I don't think it's weak 357 SIG at all, but again, I do know that I've tested something that's been stronger than that already. Then again, some of y'all out there that run a lot of 357 mag probably want more than what that 357 HST gave you. But either way, I think they both did a great job out here today. If I were to have to call a winner between these two out here today, I personally would say the 357 Magnum HST took it. If you did enjoy the video, take a second and reach down and click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you got your notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload new stuff. Again, a reminder, if you're doing some shopping, check out those affiliate links in the video description. Anything you buy after hitting up those links down there, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Again, as always, a big thanks to my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for showing the support that y'all do. I've got one more really interesting test planned for out here today, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.